I would say, the most important documents you can have in place, right? Let's say you didn't want any document. Oh, I hate lawyers and they're terrible and all that. Okay, fine. But I guess I got to get something. Well, the most important thing are the powers of attorney, and the reason they're important is because, yeah, they die when you do. They're over. They're ineffective. They're gone when you're gone, but you're not gone yet. Okay. And it's these powers of attorney that are going to enable your loved ones, the people who are caring for you, going to enable them to to talk to your doctors, talk to your banker, pay your bills, do the things that need to be done. And that's why the financial power of attorney is so important. The problem is that almost all the powers of attorney we see are what you call bill paying powers of attorney. There's no there's no thought to, well, what if mom needs long-term care? What if this happens? What if that? There's very little thought goes into it. It's just kind of a, okay, crank the Mimeo machine, crank out another power of attorney, without concern for the long-term care or any of the rest of this. As a consequence, we're in probate court on a fairly regular basis asking for additional stuff that could have been written into the power of attorney. Now, does it make sense to go to probate court while you're still alive? Yeah, if it means not giving away everything. Okay, so that's the first thing. Is very important to have the powers of attorney in place, but powers of attorney are not created equal. Okay, you got to have something that's dedicated, and this is why you need to talk to a lawyer. Seems like to me. Although most of the powers of attorney you get from lawyers are crap anyway. There's no great answer to it, except for come to me. That's the only good answer, right? Anyway, so power of attorney, yes, very important. Financial power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney. Along with the healthcare power of attorney, you got to have the privacy release form. Why? Because the HIPAA form, the privacy release, is effective when signed. Okay, it's effective immediately. So before I can find two doctors to certify in writing that you're incapacitated, so that now I can use the healthcare power of attorney, which I got to find in order to use the healthcare power of attorney, which would give me access to your medical records. Yeah, but that could be days. It's going to be hours anyway. Whereas with I got the HIPAA, boom, now I can find out what's going on. They can talk to you. They may not be able to let you make decisions, but at least you know what the hell's going on because you got the HIPAA form. Okay, good. Then the advanced directive. The advanced directive is where you tell us when to pull the plug. What do you like to eat, drink, and watch on TV? Okay, all the things that go into your quality of life that somebody should know. That's what the advanced directive is about. It's not so much about, oh, give me a dialysis or don't give me a kidney or well, whatever it is. I mean, it's not so much about that as it is a general statement of what it is you want, and you can get specific in terms of your creature comforts because I promise you, they don't know. They don't know that you want to watch Gunsmoke every day at 4 p.m. They don't know that. You got to tell them. That's what you put in the advanced. That's what I put in the advanced directive. Anyway, you want a martini at 6? Okay, fine. Well, if you don't put in martini at 6, they'll think, oh yeah, she wanted some drink that started with a M-A. Oh yeah, martini. No, Manhattan. You hate Manhattans. Well, you're gonna get a Manhattan with a cherry instead of your olive, you know, your olive martini because you didn't say it. Just say it. That's really important. Here's the other thing. Oh, also the designation of funeral representative. Very important. You got 4 kids. All 4 kids got to sign off, unless you designate one person to make those funeral arrangements. Okay, this is a great good thing that we only got a few years ago, and it makes a difference. It helps everybody get along. That's the important thing. Now, are your kids going to get along? You got no guarantee of that. You say, well, my kids all get along. They all get along. Blah, blah. Hey, listen, every kid's relationship with every other sibling, and I got 8 of them. All right, there's 8 of us. I got 7 of them. Plus me, that's 8. Okay, so there's 8 of us. There is no question, there's no doubt in my military mind that the relationship we have with one another is mediated and influenced and to some extent controlled by the relationship you have with the parent. Because when your second parent dies, all right, so if you, Susie, this is for you. You got 4 kids, right? The relationships that the kids have with one another are affected by the relationship they have with you. They're like planets going around the star. You know what I mean? All right. You know, the Earth, Moon, Venus, what, not Moon, but, you know, Earth, Venus, Mars, and Mercury, right? So they're circling the star. What happens when you take the center of gravity away, which is what you are? Okay. The parent is the center of gravity. You remove the center of gravity and things inevitably change. Now, I'm not saying they go smashing into each other or they hate each other. I'm not saying that exactly. But the fact of the matter is, throughout their entire lives, every minute of every experience you have with your kids and your kids' interactions with one another, you know what you know about that? You were alive for it. You were alive for it. Okay? You existed. You had meaning. You had influence. Yeah, okay. And you can't know for sure what that influence was, what it meant. You don't know. The kids don't know until after you're gone, and then they find out. Okay. So I'm not saying your kids are necessarily going to be at each other's throat. I'm not saying that. But things will change. And to the extent that things are ambiguous, right? Ambiguous, meaning we don't really know what is supposed. You got to mean what you say what you mean. You got to put it in writing so nobody is, nobody gets to create stories about what would happen, what should have happened. And here's the other thing. It's not so much it is that your kids will make up stories, but almost more important than that is the stories they tell their kids, right? And now the cousins hate each other because the only person, and your kids might not even tell each other that they're pissed off about this, that, or the other thing, but their own kids know. All right. And then how does one set of grandchildren feel about the other set of grandchildren? Right. You got to be thinking about this long term, and the investment that you put into getting a proper estate plan done, compared to, family harmony and knowing what's going to happen, all the rest of it, minuscule. It doesn't even relate, so don't worry about spending $500 or $1,500. Get it done right. Protect your family. That's what this is really all about.